So, if you're a creator who uses AI tools, you've probably felt that little nagging feeling, that trade-off, right? You get this unbelievable creative power, but in exchange, you're handing over your data, and maybe even your ownership. Well, today, we're going to dive into a new approach that really challenges that whole idea.
And this is really the central question, isn't it? Every time you log on to one of the big AI platforms, you're basically making a deal. You get to use their cool tool, but they get your data, they learn from your prompts, and sometimes they might even have a claim on what you create. So you have to ask yourself, is that a fair trade?
This is exactly what we mean by the creator's dilemma. Most of these mainstream platforms, they run on a model where your data is actually the product. They're harvesting your prompts, analyzing everything you do, locking the best features behind pricey subscriptions, and they do it all using these proprietary black box models where you have no idea what's happening under the hood, all while your performance gets throttled because you're sharing resources with thousands of other users.
So, what's the alternative? Let's take a look at a different kind of tool, one that was built from the ground up with a completely different philosophy in mind, the AI media generator. You see, the whole point here isn't just to build another app that makes cool videos. It's really a statement of principles. It's built on the idea that you shouldn't have to sacrifice your privacy or give up your ownership just to get access to powerful state-of-the-art AI.
And to prove they're serious about making this accessible, they've just completely removed the biggest hurdle, the cost. Right now, this platform is in a free beta. That means no subscriptions, no paper image, and you don't even need a credit card to get started and just play around.
Okay, so how do they actually pull all this off? Well, the entire system is built on three really important foundational pillars. Let's break them down.
We're going to explore these three core ideas. First, the raw power and openness that drives it. Second, the radical privacy and ownership that protects you. And third, the creator-centric experience that makes it all actually easy to use.
It really all starts with raw, dedicated power. Instead of you having to rely on some shared, laggy cloud server, this platform runs on its own state-of-the-art local hardware. And we're talking about the good stuff, the next-generation NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti, built on that new Blackwell architecture.
So why should you, as a creator, care about that? Well, in a word, speed. This means you get near real-time generation even when you're throwing complex prompts at it. The new Tensor Cores are specifically tuned for the kinds of models used in video AI, so you're getting studio-grade quality without the wait times or the cloud computing bill.
But the power isn't just about the hardware, it's also about the philosophy behind the software. The platform is built on incredible open-source models like Stable Video Diffusion and Cerebrus QM3. And the keyword here is transparency. Unlike those proprietary black boxes, you can actually see how these models work. They're auditable, and they're constantly getting better thanks to a whole global community of developers.
All right, now for pillar number 2, and honestly, this might be the most revolutionary part, radical privacy. And this is all possible because of a self-hosted architecture. Put simply, it just means the software and all of your data live on private hardware, completely separate from big tech's massive data centers.
And the implications of this are just huge. It means your prompts are never logged, never analyzed. Your amazing creations are never ever used to train their next AI model. You keep full, 100% unambiguous ownership of everything you make. There's no tracking, no profiling. Your creative space is finally truly your own.
The whole goal is to be a trusted sanctuary for creators. A safe, confidential space where you can experiment and play and create freely without ever wondering who might be looking over your shoulder. And that brings us to our third pillar, the user experience. Because look, all that power and privacy doesn't mean a thing if the tool's a nightmare to use, right? So the focus here is all about creative flow, just getting rid of the technical junk so you can focus on your ideas.
And you can really see this focus in the details. You get real-time progress bars so you know exactly what's happening. You can flip between different tasks with a simple tab-based interface. There's even an AI chat assistant built right in to help you brainstorm and refine your prompts. It's all wrapped in a clean, modern design that feels powerful, not intimidating.
So there you have it. That's the framework: power, privacy, and user experience. But the real question is, how does this new model actually stack up against the giants, the established players?
This is the big one. Can a platform that's built on these principles of privacy and openness actually compete with the likes of Runway, Pika, or Midjourney? Well, let's take a look at the data.
When you put them side by side, the difference is just crystal clear. On every single key metric that a privacy-conscious creator would care about, the contrast is stark. Let's run through it. Hosting, self-hosted and private versus cloud-based where they're storing and analyzing your data. Cost, free and beta versus expensive subscriptions. Privacy, zero data collection versus extensive tracking. Model access, open source and transparent versus closed secret models. Hardware, a dedicated GPU for you versus shared, throttled cloud GPUs. And maybe the most important one, ownership. You get full rights versus them potentially claiming usage rights to your work. It's a completely different world.
So when you see all this, you realize this isn't just about one tool. What we're actually looking at is a potential blueprint for a very different future for AI. A future that's more decentralized, more transparent, and puts the user first.
And they're not stopping here. The roadmap for what's coming next is pretty exciting. They're planning to add API access for developers, the ability to upload your own custom models, and even expand it in new areas like 3D and music generation. The goal is to build out a full, community-driven creative suite.
Ultimately, what this platform really represents is a much bigger idea. It's part of this growing movement away from centralized, corporate-controlled AI and towards a future where creators have more power, more privacy, and way more control over the tools they rely on every single day.
So it all boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful call to action. It's an invitation not just to try a new tool, but to join a movement that's trying to redefine the relationship between creators and AI. So let me just leave you with this question. What could you create if you had no limits and you knew no one was watching?